One. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Div 4 game that was rescheduled. How are you doing? My beautiful co-host, Joseph.
Yeah, say my name and I shall appear, yes. Honestly, yeah, it's a quite hot day in the land of the England, something I am not used to. I'm mostly used to the cold winds and the rain and that sort of stuff. So whenever something goes above 15 degrees, it suddenly becomes like lava on my face.
I mean,
But it's
I
all
live
good.
across the channel and it's the same.
Yeah. I'm very much actually looking forward to casting a Division 4 game. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not because I want to see some nice expert plays. No, I just want to see people throwing haymakers without a care in the world.
Oh, that's the best part about Div 4, no?
Yes. I want to see sloppy plays and enjoy every single bit of it. It's like the oiliest burger you can think of. You know it's not good for you, but you're gonna enjoy it.
I mean, yeah, that's just the thing that's about Div 4. Like, we, you just know they play for fun, and it just makes it so nice to watch. Not because the quality is not always the highest, but it is just, I don't know how to call it. It is just an enjoyment.
You know, I feel very much the same way. I know I played a couple of times in Division 4, and there really wasn't much strategy. It was just, throw shit at the wall, and if it sticks, great. Most of it
Yeah,
didn't. But either way,
I'm.
you say that it's primarily for fun. Both of these teams are actually sort of in contention on getting the final two, possibly even only one spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
So you say it's for fun. This is probably the most important game that these two teams are going to play in the group stage.
now that you say it, yeah, that is a thing.
Because I believe only four teams from the group stage are able to go through. At least with what I'm seeing in
I am
terms
checking
of
for you right
the
now.
yeah, in terms of what I'm seeing with the actual playoff bracket, it looks like only four teams.
It does look that way, yeah. No, 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 no.
No, I'm very sure it is because
Yeah,
because the yeah because the losers of the winners bracket rounds ones will face in the first lower bracket round. One team moves
as we
on.
do get
Loser of
into
round two
drafts, I
goes down
believe.
to there. Yeah, yeah. So it is only top four,
Yeah, it is.
and we are actually going into draft with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, we are into draft. The four, of course,
And
not playing fearless, and thus not using the drafting tool. So we have a nice overlay that's actually being used for once for a serious draft.
Div 4 players are just too stinky to play fearless. They're too cowardly. That's what it is.
Yeah. Let's see Aatrox and the Wukong Band come in.
Yeah, very weird ones. Although generally speaking, when it comes to like Division 4 and Division 3, you're really only looking at the opposing players' stats and champions and that sort of stuff, and you're basically just saying, what are we most afraid of?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
basically.
if anyone is a one trick or two trick, by getting rid of at least one of those champions, you're you're tunnel visioning your opponent into that last other champion that they play, which then makes it a lot easier to play around.
Yeah. I mean, MadMen Ghouls do have a substitute. And I saw that MZ actually swapped to support. So there are some changes up there. We'll see how that work and we'll see how that ends up working out for them. Uh, as I said
I
earlier,
have. Sorry,
quite
you carry
a
on.
no, quite a curious, uh, well, quite a contentious game.
Yeah, well, I'm very much looking to see how it goes. I will say that with what I'm seeing, with this with these Division 4 teams, it does seem like that this is Celestial's division to win at this point in
Yep.
time. Or, of course, anything can happen, especially with a lower division like this, where where sometimes it is just, are you feeling good on the day? Great, you win.
Yeah. I mean, we see the MF being picked in the Jinx in the response. MF is overall stronger in, for example, the early game, while the Jinx kills harder, I would believe. Vi, nice pick champion against Viego. I am not completely sure how the matchup plays out in jungle.
I'm not a big jungle person either. I will say that if this misfortune can get ahead early and they decide to go lethality, the amount of damage that this misfortune will be able to produce is going to be absolutely insane.
I mean, I can
As
just see
someone,
the level 6 gank happening. Rel
yeah,
jumping in, standing up with her ult, the Magnastorm, standing up the Misfortune ult, and then Viego just getting free resets.
I will say picking the Vi and the Leona are actually very good, specifically when it does come to a team fight. Because if the misfortune does decide to use her ultimate, all you need to do is have one of those two champions just press their ultimate on the misfortune. Misfortune no longer has that ultimate. Misfortune is then sort of out in no man's land with either a Vi in her face
Yeah.
or is stunned, and then anyone can go onto her.
Yeah. I mean, now we see the Mel and the Orianic ban coming through. Mid lane focused, as that is not picked yet, obviously. Curiously,
Yeah,
no top lane ban, except the Aatrox. So we might see a really open champion pool for MadMen Ghouls if they decide to last pick it.
to be fair, the only sort of great top
As
laner I've
we
seen in
do see the last ban coming in slowly. I would expect this to be either, yeah, okay, a mid lane ban.
yeah, lots of mid bans. So it does seem like mid lane is going to have some sort of priority if they're going to throw this many bans down there. Now, are they going to pick the mid lane right now because there is like sort of one last option they can get, or are they going to pick top lane right now? And it does seem like it's a top lane pick. I could still be wrong.
That is a Jace pick.
It'd be weird to see where that goes. I assume it's top lane, but you don't know for an absolute fact.
As the chat immediately says, why then lab Jace? So it may be top lane. Cho'Gath being a pickup with the Veigar being over now. Quite a lot of crowd control and especially space control from the side of Frostbite.
Yeah, in all honesty, it's a very simple composition to work around. You just throw stuff down. If Vhagar gets like 2 or 3 people into his ultimate, that just allows the Viego, the Rill to be able to get in. The Cho'Gath can go off and deal with the Jinx by himself if needed to, and then Misfortune can just press buttons and be happy with
Yeah,
the tool.
I mean, the Frostbite Titans is just about getting people into a certain space where they can force a fight.
Yeah,
Uh,
I will say, in terms of the compositions that you see, just a motorcycle going past. In
mhm,
terms of the compositions that you see, I will say that the Frostbite competition is significantly easier to play
yeah.
with.
As
And when
Damon would call it, these are both press R comps.
I wouldn't even say that the MadMen one is a press out comp because it's like semi-pick, semi-team fight. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I think it's just big comps with follow up. for
Yeah,
MadMen.
that's a better way to say it. And then the Frostbite side is significantly more teamfight orientated with the amount of AoE and CC that they do have.
Yeah.
In terms of the usability, I do think it is a lot easier for Frostbite to be able to play to their advantages
Yeah,
in this
definitely.
sort of comp. But if MadMen can sort of try and force Frostbite into this sort of uncertainty and make them hesitate in making a play, it can allow this Jace potentially to be able to start split pushing quite well, sort of putting pressure on another side of the map. Because I will say, with players that are not as experienced in the sort of 5v5 competitive games, it can get very tough for teams to understand when to pull that trigger,
Yep.
when to move forward, when to get onto an objective, when they are able to as well. And if a team is smart enough, they can use it to their advantage.
Yeah. Are there any matchup we are looking out for, especially? Well, I do think the junglers will be interesting to see where they gank first. Both being decent early gankers, with some CC in their kit.
Yeah,
I think
do think
the onus is on the Jace in top lane to win the matchup because Cho'Gath
yeah,
just
I would
skills
say so.
harder.
I will say in terms of mid lane, I do think Victor has it slightly easier than the Veigar. The Victor just able to get some poke in easier. I will say I am looking forward more to the bot side because, like I said, this Misfortune, if she can get ahead, can be an absolute monster. But when you're having to do with a Jinx and a Leona that can both sort of CC you down for a decent amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
lot of people sort of underestimate just how easy you can chain from Leona CC.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
they can make that happen,
I
if
think
they can lose it,
Leona herself can just keep someone CC'd long enough for the gravity field from Victor to just activate.
yeah. In terms of the side of Frostbite, I think it's more going to be down to this Viego and this Veigar to try and work around something. Because if Viego can get ahead, then it doesn't really matter. It's a Viego.
Yeah.
How are you meant to stop that? In terms of the side of MadMen, you're going to want to protect this Jinx at least to the point where she can get comfortable being able to throw that damage down.
Yeah.
And of course, and also more on this Jace as well, because if the Jace can get strong, he can either split push or play with the team, and either way, it's going to be very rough to deal with because the
Yeah.
poke that is on Jace is absurd.
Yeah. I think, as the chat rightly calls out, the Vi will have some issues, and Leona as well through the Veigar cage. On the other hand, Veigar cage, especially early, pretty long cooldown. So once it's down, Frostbite are lacking some defensive tools.
Yeah, certainly, but again, you just have to play it smart. And like, I don't really think it matters for this fight. Like, especially in team fights, if this fight can just get to the point where she is ulting on the Misfortune or the Veigar when they're slightly further away from the rest of their team, then that's enough of a win.
Yeah.
I think that's the word I'm looking for. Because if you
Overall,
can stop it, yes.
I am pretty excited for these games. I think
I'm just waiting to actually get into the games.
yeah, same. As the game has crashed, so we'll try to reconnect. As we are in game.
Yay! Games, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's quickly take a look at the runes. Health Blades for Cho'Gath top makes sense into a ranged matchup. You're not going to be proccing that grasp, and the all-in, once Jace decides to go all-in as well, is pretty strong.
I mean, with what I'm seeing straight away, this misfortune is going Leaf Fantasy, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
When you have those two damaging runes along with First Strike, you are looking to get that slight poke damage off, so then you can go in for the all-in.
Definitely. Alright. Cho'Gath does start this Doran's Ring, so slightly less tanky than a Doran's Shield start, but I don't think it'll be the biggest of issues.
I don't think it's going to be massive, especially early on when the Jace doesn't have much in terms of damage, because, you know, the Cho'Gath can just heal passively off the minions as it stands.
I think actually Veigar could have optimized this gameplay here. Veigar could just get a stack in that dance off, but I respect the dance off as well, so don't fully blame him.
You could be a coward and get that one single hit off if you wanted to. You know, you are sending a message of I am a big POS by doing so, but
yeah,
hey, a stack's a stack, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah, Misfortune is naturally going to have the push-in at this point in time, just because of her passive. The fact that she can just you know, get double damage just on a basic auto attack. This Misfortune, I can already tell you, has to play smarter with her Qs. Like at that point right there, if she's going to use her Q just to try and push the minions in, she's going to lose a lot of mana very quickly, and she really is not going to be able to get her First Strike off. Because if I'm the Jinx, if I see Misfortune use the Q, I'm instantly going into rocket form, hitting her once, throwing away her First Strike, and then badabosh.
Yeah. I mean, Jinx's W and the long range autos pretty easy to proc the First Strike, so.
Yeah. We have just seen now just the damage that the Cho'Gath and the Jace can both dish out.
Yep.
This Jace needs to play a little smarter to try and not get himself knocked up so easily.
Cho'Gath having the health blade, of course, for that damage.
Yes.
Just your E with the free E procs with the health blade auto attacks. I think Jace is mostly looking to not do this. Okay. Just not respecting the damage. I think he will need to play a bit more ranged this early game.
Yes, I also agree 100%. Like, you can't just, like, it pains me so much! As someone who was a massive Misfortune player when I did play this game, why should you just walk into the... at this point, I feel like being slapped is more entertaining.
I can see why you would say that.
But no, I played a lot of Misfortune. Which makes sense. You now have the tempo on top lane. You don't want to lose it. Just using that tempo once you have the... And, like, straight away, that's just one simple combo, and it's put the Jace down to half HP. And that is just with the two added items that the Cho'Gath does have. This Jace needs to play safer. This Jace has to understand right. This Cho'Gath can punish me if I carry on playing like this.
Oh, as we
and just like we see
another kill on top lane.
Yeah, it's like, you know, for me once, shame on you. For me twice, shame on you again.
Yeah.
And as we see here,
thrice,
you know,
I might be a fool.
For me thrice, now you're just being that guy. But we do see the fact that, you know, this Misfortune, as you can see, her mana bar, non-existent. because she is using her Qs too often. She is possibly even using her E's too often as well. The continuous damage that the E does is not really that much, and we see a failed flash as well.
I think the Q just not charging enough before flashing. Unfortunate. Can happen.
No, I think they just completely failed the combo because I think if the Phi is in her dash and you flash, it instantly takes you out of it. You have to do the flash before you release the Q.
I see.
Yes.
Yeah. I did not know that that's how the Vi combo works. Then again, I don't play Vi.
I played her a little bit, and I also remember that. We just
we
see that the Shogath now is now an absolute monster. 3 kills in
First
6 minutes.
feast stack being a champion.
Yes, that as well.
You cannot complain.
You most certainly cannot. Something tells me that this is going to be a very big Shogath come late game, if there even is a late game.
I would like to see this Victor go for the burn build. Just,
I think this Victor has to now.
Yeah. Cho'Gath just going to be stacking some... Well, hold on. This might be a AP Cho'Gath, as we see the Hextech alternator coming through.
I genuinely do not understand why you would go AP. Like, the tank Cho'Gath is too good.
Yeah.
You can
even get a Riftmaker along the way for a bit of extra AP.
Exactly.
But I think Cho'Gath going... If you go tank here as Cho'Gath, you will become unstoppable as the...
Exactly, yes. I genuinely feel like going AP, you are giving yourself the chance to actually...
As I do wonder... Yes, Miss Fortune does have mana flow banned, so... She'll have less mana issues in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's just the fact that, just like you saw there, this Miss Fortune has to start using her Q. As we do see, in the top lane, a nice gank, but somehow the Jace does...
That's flash, at least. But the flash does go down, as they do get a Drake in response.
Which is okay.
Ocean Drake will make the lane for everyone a bit easier. As we see a flash combo from OBDP. Jinx Mega Death Rocket used. Reset coming through as the Rel walks it off.
Which is okay. You got both of the flashes down, and sure, the Jinx should have potentially used her flash a little earlier to try and get that kill. But either way, that is at least something on the board for the bot side, and even if the Jinx did not get the kill, she is still getting the momentum of getting those minions, pushing her own minions down against her, making it so that the Miss Fortune is losing out on some gold.
I mean... It is rough. Cho'Gath now has 2 stacks of feast, 1.5k gold ahead, 9 minutes. So,
I am quite ashamed that the Cho'Gath did not go with the Gentleman Cho'Gath skin. I absolutely love that one.
Yeah, it's the only Cho'Gath skin I own, only one I will ever own.
We are starting to see just how oppressive that this mid lane can be. As once again, Victor gets another kill, and this is just the tempo of League of Legends. You get 1 kill, you can very easily snowball that into 2 kills, 3 kills, 4 kills. As we see the Cho'Gath getting more damage down onto this Jace. This Jace really needs to try and find a way to get back into this game, because if things carry on going as they are right now, nothing is going to change. I mean, I also see that this Jace is actually going a Livati or poke build as well, with the tear, with the serrated dirt.
It's a bit... I mean, as Cho'Gath is going a less tankier build, I guess you are allowed to go that. I would like to see one of the cheaper lethality items here, as he is behind. Just get a cheap lethality item, get back into this game, skill for your Mana Mune.
We are seeing a potential lane gank happening with the Viego coming down. But are they going to spot him in time?
As we see
Is
a
that
flash come
a
out, flash feast
Om
from
nom nom?
Alec 2. As we do see the lane gank being there. MC probably really happy her E didn't land in hindsight.
Well, Emmy does not know that the vehicle was there.
In hindsight, as I said.
Yeah, exactly. In hindsight, but we'll see. I will say that the longer this vehicle stays here, the more he's giving up essentially. The more that he is allowing this this Vi to actually get ahead, and we do see the flash coming down.
Solar flare
Is it going to be
maybe
enough?
saving back. Yes, and the Jinx getting a kill back with the Mega Death rockets.
Oh, the Jinx! Oh, the Jinx nearly just walked back
Super
into the
Mega Death
Misfortune ultimate. The Jinx was so close to just walking back and killing herself.
Yeah, as we see another kill
It's another
on this
one.
Jace.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. It's
At this point, I think you just have to start hugging your turret and being like, this is my home, this is my safety net.
I think you might even try to swap your bot and top.
I do not see why you would do that at all. The main reason why is because this Cho'Gath is so goddamn far ahead. If you throw one of your only people that are ahead into it, I don't see that as being a good thing at all. Because I think this Cho'Gath, generally speaking, can 1v2 at this point in time.
As I do apologize for the overlay being slightly bugged. MC does indeed have TP. Bex has barely.
Oh, what is happening?
Besides that, Misfortune has cleansed, so nothing else being too different.
Well, either way, I did say that these Division 4 games are nothing but utter slop, and I'm at least somewhat happy that my comments are actually coming to fruition.
As we see a possible lane gank from the other side now.
Yes.
As we will cycle vision to see if the Vi does get spotted now.
Yeah,
the Vi did get spotted, leaves. There's still a bit of pressure because they, Frostbite obviously don't know that Vi is no longer in the alcove. Just setting up for a Drake now. Mountain Drake, second Drake. Curious to see what the soul will be. Yeah.
I'm a little curious. I'm a little curious as to why they are starting up Drake when their ADC is not actually with them, because that is a lot of damage which is not being put onto that Drake.
As there's a flash from the Veigar Super Mega Death Rocket hitting the Q from Wolfman, slightly getting interrupted by a wall. Ult being used from Viego. Besides that, this Drake should go over to MadMen. Overall, decent recovery, last few minutes, besides the top lane. And Joseph, I wanna just point your attention to a almost 3k gold lead for this Cho'Gath pre 15 minutes. I'm gonna call an early top gap for game 1.
Yeah, standing here, this Jace realizes that this Cho'Gath is just far too strong for him.
Yeah.
Like again, this is just what happens when you play it a little bit too recklessly, and you don't learn from it. Because like the whole gold lead at this point in time from the side of Frostbite is from this Cho'Gath pretty much.
Cho'Gath now building a Bami Cinder as well, going a bit more tanky, and I do think that while it is a 3k gold lead in the top lane, Cho'Gath will be hard to deal with, but I think if MadMen Ghouls keep playing the way they are so far, I think they'll find themselves being able to maybe handle the Cho'Gath late game. So not all hope is lost.
We'll just need to see how things go. Obviously, we are only 15 minutes into this game, but you know I've seen games finish at 20 minutes. You know when people are, you know when one team is just allowed to ride their momentum from.
Mega Death Rocket not getting a kill. Flashes from the side of MadMen. As the Cho'Gath will kill, and it is a shutdown for the Vi.
Yeah, that's very good for the Vi.
The jungle gold difference went from 500 in the favor of Viego to 150 in the favor of Vi. As I'm gonna have a quick check how much it was. It was a bonus bounty of 200 gold. So that checks out.
Yeah, I will say that
Jinx would have loved to have that shutdown though.
Yeah, of course, but it going onto another damage dealer is not the worst thing in the world. The Cho'Gath actually was able to still get down the Herald, and because of that, the side of Frostbite do get that first tower, and therefore they do get the feats. So it's not the end of the world, but either way, that is still some gold that you just don't want to give the side of MadMen. The kills nice and level. It's come down to less than a 1,000 gold lead at this point in time.
We should take a quick look at the gold graph where you can see the spikes, but it's evening out around that 1.5k lead. So we've seen LSC teams come back from a 10k gold deficit. I think 1.5k should be doable for Div 4. As I do want to point your attention as well to the build from the Veigar. Curiously, I think that might be a Cosmic Drive after Lost Chapter? With the haste, the boot facility, just full haste for this Veigar.
I think it's just so the Veigar is able to get his
E down.
You are starting to see that the side of MadMen are able to sort of move around this map quite well, put some pressure down in areas as well. Like this Veigar is not able to do anything against this Victor. This Victor is just a little bit too far ahead at this point in time. Not to mention the range of the Victor just far outclasses Veigar. It's near impossible for Veigar to do much of anything.
I mean, Veigar has gotten his ult down to 50 seconds and his E down to like 10.5, so that's
yeah, it is something.
That is his job in team fights.
Yeah,
just
it is
put down the E. If you see someone low press R. If the Cho'Gath doesn't already do it.
Yeah, at this point in time, that is the case. Yes. They are seemingly trying to potentially fight over this dragon. It's just one of those situations where if you are not ready for it, you just sort of allow the opposing side to get it.
Yeah.
That's
a nice
decent amount of damage
into Shock Blast. Death Ray into Shock Blast, I believe it's called. Although neither team is getting much resources on the map.
Not meant. Neither team really want to go into no man's land at this point in time. Very clear lines in the sand that have been drawn at this point in time.
Yeah.
Which team is going to press that one press that go in button?
As it does seem, Frostbite is getting over the Cloud Drake. Viego still lurking around. Will we see the steal? Viego will be on vision. Cho'Gath eating the Drake with the feast.
Was that down to 37 HP?
I believe so, yeah.
I did see that. So both teams did not smite and...
No, both the device does their smite up as well. As I do want to once again apologize for the bug in the overlay tool where we do not see a secondary summoner spell. I believe that will be fixed in a future, in the next release of the overlay.
Yeah, very, very good flash from the Misfortune, putting the Vi into very dangerous territory.
Flash from Jinx out. As we said, the combo is Rel CC into Misfortune ult into Viego reset. We said it in draft, and we see it here.
Yeah, it was very, very well executed. But the thing is now is that this Misfortune does not have cleanse. This Misfortune does not have flash. So if the Vi
as we do see
does that again in that situation,
dying. Just slightly overstepping and getting caged into the tower range. I think there he might have just wanted to use his Q on a minion for a shield and then just wait out the baby cage, but
I am very confused. You have items which deal damage over time. You go into turret range. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say earlier, the only way this Veigar wins a fight with the Victor is if the Victor gets into scrapping range.
Yep.
And that wasn't even in scrapping range. That was in, hey Veigar, just uppercut me, mate.
Yep. Veigar up to 205 stacks on his phenomenal evil. So that's a bit low for 20 minutes, but I don't hate it either. As we see the Victor now use his range, almost dying to the ults, but
Potentially still dying with this Viego.
okay. Nice
Needing
flash.
the flash.
Yeah, Veigar used ult, so I think the ult for flash, you're not happy about it, but I don't think he'll feel too bad either.
Surely that's a bug on the Leona where she has her orbs still.
No, you can see in the inventory that the item has not upgraded yet.
So I'm so confused then. Why would you not just attack, hit the turret?
750 gold. I think this might be due to Emmy being a relatively new player to League and also newly swapping to support from being a mid laner. So
Yeah, someone needs to tell her that she has to use her orbs more.
Yep. I mean, I guess she'll just have to schedule a session with Damon if he's available.
Yeah.
Damon obviously being the Div 1 support, so...
If there is anyone on the side of MadMen Ghouls that's currently listening whilst playing, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, please tell Emmy to hit the minions.
Yeah. I mean, Emmy has been playing League for what? 4 or 5 months? 4 months now? So... If you've never built the item before, I guess. Now, once again, people don't give enough credit to good support players. I was playing a game.
Oh, that's just mean.
That's the combo. Just CC into MFL into Viego resets.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very clear case of MadMen not warding properly, and because they haven't warded properly, that just allows the Joker to come from behind.
The engage was warded, as you can see. I think Viego was just in his shroud.
The Cho'Gath came from the top side. That slight narrow passage. Yeah.
Once again, also no vision. Cho'Gath just walking in.
This Cho'Gath is ganking better than the jungler.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this Cho'Gath has just gotten to the point where all he has to do is just show himself. and that pressure alone is enough to either allow his team to get a kill, or to get some sort of objective. Because in the space of 1 minute, Cho'Gath got 2 kills, the second Drake for his team. Badabosh, he's at what, 4,000 HP now at this point in time at 25 minutes?
We'll check.
With
He
only,
is at 4.1k. Indeed.
yeah, with 3
stacks,
items completed.
and I believe he still has a couple minion stacks left as well.
Yes, he has been stacking the champions too much.
We can check. As we see 1 monster eaten, and 0 minions. It's 1 epic monster, 2 drakes, and 4 champions. So that's still 5 minions left, because the monsters count.
Still 5 minions left, yeah.
Yep.
So that's crazy.
I take back everything I said about Rocket Belt Cho'Gath.
This Cho'Gath has been eating good. Cho'Gath been having those 5-star hors d'oeuvres and foie gras and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, MC looking for a quick fight, not connecting all.
I would still like to see this Misfortune try and use her Qs smarter. What she did the first time you saw, the Jinx was just barely out of range, but then she used her next Q to confirm 2 minions. I would just prefer just to auto the cannon, kill that, move up, and Q one of the minions there. But again, like, you have these items, you have 2 completed items, and half of another. The amount of damage you are going to get from a kill, from a Q kill crit second hit is insane.
Yeah.
And you know, people down in this elo are going to make positioning mistakes. You can abuse that.
Yeah. I mean, I think MadMen also, like, elo-wise, relatively low, even for Div 4. So, you'll see some stuff that you normally wouldn't make sense of, but nice flash from MC, denying a full engage.
I don't think it was 100% necessary, but that's one of those situations where it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, because if Frostbite get the Rel engage into the MF ult, into maybe even a Viego reset, a fight can very quickly spiral out of control.
Yeah, and with what items the Jinx has right now, generally speaking, is fine. However, when you know that a Cho'Gath is going to be as strong as this one is at this point in time, I would probably get LDR second. If not second, you need it third. 100% you need it third. If you do not get LDR next, you are trolling your team, and then you should just be put on the bench for the rest of the split.
I don't hate. I edge second. You do
like
also still want to deal damage to the rest of the enemy team. For your Jinx resets, but it should be.
Oh no!
It's going to be Runan's Hurricane third, sadly.
Oh no!
It's the Hansama syndrome where you're allergic to buying armor pen on an ADC. Especially with Cho'Gath just having some armor under his belt now. Let's see. That's 208 armor. That's enough to warrant a LDR by far, by a lot.
This Jinx's shots from a minigun against his Cho'Gath is going to be like unfrozen peas. They're going to do absolutely nothing.
I mean, I think as Jinx, you even like the build path for LDR here, because you can also buy the Noom Quiver early on, as MC gets called, sadly. Reset for Viego, I think that'll just be a third Cloud Drake for Frostbite, which puts them on Soul Point.
Yeah, like, not everyone on your team is there at Dragon, on the side of MadMen. If that's the case, why are you there? You should not be there. And because of that, you just get yourself killed. It's another
Flash for
kill for the
flash.
Cho'Gath.
Flash for the millennials. Um, as we see Frostbite possibly moving towards the Baron. Cho'Gath now recalling, has the TP up, so we'll know soon enough.
By
I
the way,
think with
if
Cho'Gath TPing top, Frostbite are... it's a Veigar, never mind. They are delaying their Baron? Question mark. I think they could, if they all just ran top, I think they could have just taken the Baron already, but
there is a
they
possibility,
don't want to risk
there
it.
is also there is also the case of your strongest member is currently pushing down one lane. The enemy team are going to have to try and send multiple people down in order to stop him. When that happens, the Cho'Gath can just TP back over to the Baron. They can start it there, and then bada bush. And this Jace was in a position that they were not supposed to be in because of that they lose half their HP. This Veigar is
Season desist used. TP mid lane back,
carry on pushing.
flashing out of the MF field. As Frostbite back off mid lane a bit. As I am...
Yeah, this is Cho'Gath
does complete
right now.
the runes fairly quickly. So, big team fight not yet happened. If the delay for another 10 minutes, she'll have the LDR. And she'll deal some damage to the Cho.
Yeah, but if I'm the side of Frostbite, I'm like, hey guys, we have a very strong Cho'Gath, and this Jinx is not built to deal with him. Let's put a lot of pressure on this Baron, and let's get some vision in the red side, in the red top lane portion of their jungle. Let's get this Baron because we have a smite and a Cho'Gath ultimate, and if they fight us, we just turn and kill them.
As Phantom does call out that both Jace and Vi have armor shred in their kits. I agree, but so far I have not seen them on the same screen besides the Vi gang. So
yes,
I don't like the argument. I think this game gets 10 times easier if Jinx does have armor shred.
It doesn't get 10 times easier, but
relatively.
Yes, if MadMen can play the fight correctly, this Jinx should be able to get some sort of damage down onto the Cho'Gath, which she would not get either.
As the Vi does use her smite this time and steals the Baron. Now let's see if any of the MadMen members make it out to carry on to use the Baron, at least denying it from the enemy team.
They do deny it, but they do lose 4 of their members in the process, only being able to kill one other. So even if they do deny it from the blue side, honestly, I still think you are perfectly okay with this because you still have the pressure and the momentum to be able to possibly even just end the game. If I'm being honest, maybe if they were higher up in terms of elo and stuff and could sort of vision the game better, they will be able to.
Yeah.
But chances are they will get this inhibitor, they will back off, they will recall, they will get more items, and therefore all they will need to do is get one more push down, and then that's it.
Yeah. As we are nitpicking a lot because this game just spiraled out of control from minute 1 in top lane. And that carried over to the rest of this game. As you can see, Cho'Gath being the one that's massively ahead. Almost 6k now. Jace is looking to do a Yasuo impression. Needs just 3 more deaths. But I think the rest of the gold leads in jungle and bots are so to call inorganic because of this game being propelled far ahead, a lot quicker than normal, and that results in gold leads for the rest of the team.
Yeah, it's and especially when someone like a Cho'Gath has also been able to, I don't know, yeah, it's like I understand that she might be new to the game, but when you bring someone who is not as used to the game as some other people are, that sort of stuff is going to happen where they're not on the same page, where they think they can do something they can't, and there's really no one to hold them back quick enough.
I do think that MadMen having a substitute is not helping them, of course.
No, obviously not. They're not playing at their full strength. Although I don't see I don't know what this team would look like with all 5 players, because I don't watch.
Yep. I mean, I will be curious to see how Game 2 goes. If MadMen Ghouls show themselves a lot better, get back up from this game, I am willing to believe. I just hope that they don't have a repeat of this game.
Yeah, I do agree. I feel like if you are at least the coach, I don't know if this MadMen Cool side does have a coach. You need to sort of understand, hey, we might need to play something that's easier fundamentally for everyone to understand and be able to execute.
Yep. As we will have our game finished up.
Yes. Still, very good win for the side of Frostbite. Their top laner going absolutely crazy, cooking everyone.
Quickly showing the after game stats. If we look at the damage graph, this Cho'Gath just... For Cho'Gath, that's a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Victor, of course, with the burn builds, just raking up the numbers. But as you can see, the Jinx didn't have much time to impact the game as she wanted
there
to.
really wasn't. There really wasn't many team fights, if we're going to be honest, and that's where Jinx thrives. If you have this sort of team comp where it's like you want to sort of get picks and or have skirmishes and that sort of stuff,
I think
then
you...
getting a different ADC is better.
I think you pick a safer top laner instead of the Jace. Maybe replace the Vi even with something like an Amumu or Sejuani, and you have like a well-rounded teamfight comp. I think this game gets a bit easier.
Yeah, certainly, but and that's just what I mean. You want to have a team comp that is easier to execute.
Yep.
Because when you have that team comp, we were a little bit confused about what it does, and by watching it, I still don't know what it does.
I mean, we saw early on a couple times where we saw the engage with follow-up idea come through, but I think it's just hard to execute well.
Yeah, I agree. Either way, I feel like we should have a little bit of a break
We will
before
have
the
a little
second
bit
game.
of break and be back soon. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. We are currently waiting for game 2 to slowly get into draft in a minute or two. Uh, how was your pulse? Mine was great. I just finished up a local beer called Walberg. It's a very flavorful local beer. It's only 6% alcohol, so it's not too bad.
Oh yeah, only 6%.
Considering that a normal lager is like 5, it's like fine.
To be
My
honest,
the mead I make myself is like between 12 and 15%. So
Oh, look at me, I'm an
yeah,
aficionado.
yeah, yeah. I make it myself. The mead. I'm happy. I don't. I don't want to be judged. I'm
sound,
allowed to
sound like
talk
a very
about the drinks I make myself.
sound like a very meaty person, mate.
Just you wait until I get your address.
So you can come kiss me?
Or force alcohol down your throat.
Nah, mate.
I can do both at once.
I've done wrestling. Either way, it's going to go. It is going to be very interesting to see how MadMen rethink their strategy going into this second game. Because, like I said, I do think that the composition they had in game one was maybe not the best thing to work on with people who were not that high elo. Really, you want to try and stick to people's comfort, whilst also forming forming a set of champions that can still work well together.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, there really isn't much of a meta when it comes to Division 4. It's like, can you play this? No? Okay.
I think
How about this?
you want to have a um very nice combination between very comfort pick and hope those comfort picks are press hard champions. As we do get into drafts now, without the use of an external drafting tool, the drafts are a, a bit quicker as we don't have double draft. Let's see what the first ban is, as MadMen have decided to take the blue side.
Wouldn't be surprised if they do ban the Cho'Gath, because I do think that was like probably the main issue.
Yep. Wukong once again being banned. Let's. I'll be interested to see if the Aatrox ban returns as well. Maybe Alec, not getting too cocky by not banning the Aatrox. I suspect that is a comfort pick for YN Lab.
Possibly, again, I haven't seen these guys as Obi.gg. I probably should. Just don't want to.
Yeah. Brom being banned. Pretty strong support currently. We'll see what else ends up happening.
It's a shame because Braum was like my one trick when I did play support, so I'd love to talk about him.
Yeah. The Victor being banned, very stable for OBDP in mid lane.
It does make sense. Victor was one of the bigger issues that that Frostbite had to deal with, and even if they did win the game,
As we see the Cho'Gath ban coming out.
Yeah, makes sense. Like I said, like the biggest issue that MadMen had to deal with. If they didn't ban it, I'd be asking questions.
Misfortune being banned. I guess Frostbite having a different plan this time and not wanting to give it over.
I assume both of the ADCs know how to play it decently well. A Jhin first pick? I don't know what to think about that if they do decide to lock it in. Baby!
Smolder?
Oh, baby.
Smolder
It's baby
is a
time.
flex still. Could be going bot, could be going mid. I haven't seen it top even. I don't know who's from the side of map plays it, but we'll have to see.
It doesn't matter because it's baby. That's all that matters.
It's going to be calling its mom.
once again, the Viego picked for Frostbite. It worked out decently well in the first game, so why not go for it again?
Mm-hmm.
What are they
Viego
potentially
picked
going?
once again. Kaisa.
Yep.
Uh,
Kai'Sa. Yeah, makes sense. Kai'Sa is one of the more annoying champions for Smolder to deal with if Smolder does not play respectfully.
Also can go in with the Viego for dive.
Yes, that as well. Once again,
Vi.
picking Vi.
I suspect the Vi to be more of a comfort pick as well.
Yeah, I do get it, but the thing is if you're picking Smolder, you're really looking more towards trying to have some sort of team fight composition, and Vi does not really work around that.
Yeah. Maokai. Okay.
Maokai does, though.
Still keeping all the flex options open.
Yeah, very interesting.
And I do like the Maokai as an answer to Viego. Being able to lock the Viego down.
Yeah, I mean, the Kai'Sa Nautilus, one of the simpler, easier bot lane duos that you're pretty much ever going to see. The fact that Nautilus can CC someone
Yeah.
twice in very quick succession just makes it so easy for Kai'Sa to be able to get her passive off on that one specific target.
I would say, once again, nice setup for some Viego resets. As we see the mid lane bands coming back, carrying over from the first draft into this game.
Yep, makes sense. It does seem like the mid lane is quite scrappy. So you're wanting to get the opposing mid laner on someone who they're not as comfortable on, just to try and make it easier for you to deal with them.
As the Ari ban also returns from game 1. If I remember last game, the victor was a Oriana ban. Let's see if it comes out from the side of Mad.
Sion.
Sion?
Interesting.
I think
Potentially not.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think they just don't want to have another champion in the top lane that can more or less do the same thing that Cho'Gath was able to do, with the infinite stacking of the HP, just the amount of pressure that they're allowed to have.
Ambessa being hovered? Is that lock? That is a lock-in. So they're saying, let's put the carry pants onto Alec.
Oh, they carried on a tank, so let's see if they can carry on someone who is actually meant to be a carry.
I mean, if Alec gets as far ahead this game as he was on the Cho'Gath, it is going to be a quick game. I can tell you that.
Yeah, we might as well.
Being picked, so this might end up being a Maokai support.
I think it's pretty much guaranteed at this point in time, because I don't think I've ever seen a Maokai be mid lane.
It could be Vi mid Maokai jungle, but I don't suspect.
Highly doubt it.
I do like the Ornn pickup. Now I just want, a secondary carry besides the Smolder.
Like this is a much easier team to work around with. Like you have you have a lot of AoE ultimates. You do have the Vi just in case someone does try and do something sneaky. And I will say, with there being a Smolder and an Aurelion Soul, there is going to be a special event that happens in the game because of these two champions.
Yeah.
If anyone does not know what I'm talking about, potentially, at some point in the game, there is going to be a pop-up which states that the Smolder or the Aurelion have to kill the other one, or at least be in the participation of it, and then they will get a portion of the other one's stacks.
Yeah. So the requirements is They are both level 9 and have collected 70 plus stacks.
Yes.
It is a... They then... as the draft failed, it was quit, I believe. So... We'll have to see what
Quit?
happened there. I believe the mid laner from MadMen did cancel, so OBDP did cancel the draft. We'll have to see what that was about. As the chat is of course currently bugged in client, so we'll hear in a bit what happened.
Yeah, hopefully someone can give us some details.
Yeah. As the yeah.
Just yeah.
There's a math formula, of course, behind behind the behind the amount of stacks that they do get.
Yeah, there is some sort of percentage or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But either way, I have been on both sides of this coin as the smaller player, where I have gotten the kill on the Aurelian, and the Aurelian has the kill on me. I will say, if the Smolder can get this kill on the Aurelian, you're looking at 17, 18 minutes where Smolder has to execute. And if that's the case, GG.
yeah.
Protect the Smolder, get those kills, you win. You just win the game. Either way, I do hope that this person can play Baby quite well, because you can be somewhat aggressive with the pick, but you have to be smart with it as well, especially when you are facing this Nautilus and this Kaiser as well. Because one
Definitely.
small little mistake, and next thing you know, you are seeing a grey screen.
But we do have to wait until the lobby gets restarted. Yeah. We'll run through the draft sequencing quickly once more.
Do we know what happened?
We do not. The in-game chat, or the lobby chat was bugged, so we did not get the information. Maybe we'll get it in a bit.
Yeah, maybe if someone could just send us the reason why, if it was just a simple disconnect. But either way, yeah, because everyone knows what they're banning, what they're picking, this is going to be a much quicker.
We did receive the information. The top liner for Matt did disconnect.
Yeah, okay, that's all we needed to know. So there isn't going to be no punishment for simply leaving, because I know VL can be quite anal on that sort of stuff. For some reason, I never understood why. Because like, oh, you need to get some sort of screenshot. It's like, yeah, I crashed. Do you want me to print screen within that split second? Do you want to have some sort of futuristic site that this is going to be the case?
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, it does reduce the amount of discussion about enforcement of rules. But I would imagine then that in that kind of scenario, it's also down to sportsmanship from both teams. Which, luckily, so far, the games that I've seen have been quite okay from a production standpoint.
We're just going through everything once again. We know what everyone is picking. And then we will have to wait the 3 minutes starting now. But either way, this is going to be a more interesting game, hopefully, to watch. Hopefully it is not as one-sided, and quite honestly, even if Yinlab does die as often as he did, sure, a Fed Ambessa is going to be very tough to take down with how much dashes that she does get. But at least in terms of the Ornn side, you dying that much doesn't make a massive difference to what you're supposed to be doing in the team fights.
Yeah, and I think the Ambessa can carry harder than the Cho'Gath, but she'll feel less of a complete inevitability and more like a very quickly impending doom. But there is somehow a difference between those two. Because well, if you once you drag the Ambassa back down with you to your own level, she tends to stay there. Where it was with Cho'Gath, he does get his ult stacks. He does keep that power with being so tanky.
By the way, I'm just hoping to see a bit more of an even game.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, no one really wants to cast a game, let alone a whole series, where it's just an outright stomp, because there just really isn't much to talk about other than like, oh hey, this team's struggling.
Yeah, I mean it's I think it's a real skill that someone can have uh, where they basically are able to just how would you say it, where you are able to see the positive side of a game that is a complete stomp. Um, I do think that the last game we did see that the mid and ADC from MadMen were fairly stable. um, I think in a game where both teams are much more even in terms of gold, it will get a lot more tense on who will win. So let's hope for a really even game. That's
And generally speaking, both of these teams more or less want to do the same sort of thing, where you want that big fight to occur so your carries can pop off.
yeah.
So we're going to see a lot more fighting, I do hope, come around the 20-minute mark.
MadMen, I think leaning a bit more towards just front to back team fighting. I think that the side of Frostbite Titans are looking a bit more for picks within a team fight. Obviously, only having one real tank in the Nautilus, but getting a shit ton of dashes and damage in return.
Yes. It does feel like that Frostbite have more of the burst, and if they cannot get that off, it's going to be somewhat of an issue. But either way, also generally speaking, with the combinations you can get, the better rolling someone for the Kaiser to ult them as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Viego and the Kaiser and that sort of stuff. It can lead to some pretty good singular wombo combo.
I do think that the side of MadMen have some really easy ways to start fights with the Ornn ult, with the Maokai ult, the cease and desist from the Vi, the ball delivery, Orianna Vi, Smolder just free hitting from the backline. So if they are able to get that sort of rhythm going of fighting in that style, I think they might be able to roll over Frostbite Titans in a team fight. Now,
Yeah,
however, if the Smolder and Oriana both get picked off early on, it gets a lot harder.
Yeah, they do need to ensure that their carries do have some sort of protection. The amount of times where I have been in a team where every single tank goes in, which then leaves me and the other carry left by our lonesome, and then that just loses us the fight and the game. I could potentially not count them on both my hands. So if I see that, it's gonna bring up some bad memories of the past. So I at
Don't.
least hope that someone like the Maokai at least stays back for the sake of the
Yeah.
Smolder
Eh,
and the Oriana.
In that sense, I do think Maokai is one of the better protect your ADC champions, especially for these kind of dive comps. As we are now currently getting into game.
There we are.
The tool still slowly loading in. As we'll quickly turn on the scoreboard to make sure we can see what is happening.
I don't think there's going to be much change with how things have played out. I don't see either. I do not see either side going in for some sort of. Oh, I say that.
As we
When
do
you have
see
when you
a
have
flash
this
from the Nautilus missing, Oriana flash also being used.
which honestly is very much worth it, I would say, because this then just allows the Viego to have to have more routes opening up on how he wants to play out this early game.
As we do get our overlay back, luckily.
There really should not be a significant amount of stuff happening in this early side, unless some, like I said, in terms of down in the bot lane. If this Nautilus can get a good hook onto this Mono, we could see an early kill there. The Ambassador potentially having more of the pressure up on the top lane, and then mid lane they're probably just going to be slapping each other here and there. Nothing too crazy.
As we do see the currently the Smolder having fleets, Oriana having the phase rush, nothing too crazy in terms of runes. As the ignite gets used from the Nautilus and MC flashing away, having the let's see if MC has the TP once more. Having ignite this game. In terms of runes, both ADCs have barrier.
Which, yeah, makes sense.
Yep. Nothing too insane going on there.
There is a lot of CC on both sides of these teams, but there really is not much that you are able to cleanse. So yeah, I do agree with both of the barrier options. I would have at least preferred to have seen a little bit more respect come out from the side of the bot side of MadMen, when they potentially knew that they were not going to get that level 2 lock-in.
Yep. Maokai getting poked out a little bit. It's to be expected in this lane, I would say.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Oh, I am at least hoping that this Smolder can just play safe, get a little bit of poke here and there, just get some stacks. Call for mum when needed. And then all things should be Gucci, so long as everywhere else on the map can stay stabilized.
We are currently just quickly fixing our scaling in the overlay. 2 champions with stacks now. Luckily the overlay does display those.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
5 and Aurelian being of 13 currently.
16 stacks already. That's fairly decent for this early side, generally speaking.
As we do these
Once
top lane trades seem to be a bit more even. No Hill Blades technology this time. The one thing that I find curious is that this Ambessa does have a grasp. Obviously going to be able to proc it a lot in this matchup. As we do see another Ignite coming out from the Nautilus. I don't like the Ignite being used here. The Maokai being able to disengage fairly easily. A bit of a waste. So
yeah, I can see that. You can potentially also just see as the Nautilus wanting to put as much pressure as possible, wanting to make sure that this Smolder has a tougher time getting the stacks off on the minions by forcing that minion wave under the tower, by forcing the Maokai away with it. But yeah, I would much more. I'd more prefer it if the Maokai waited, not the Maokai, the Nautilus waited until there was a good opportunity to hook the Smolder before using the Ignite.
yeah. Overall, fairly standard early game. Ambassador being 10 CS ahead of the Orden. That
Yeah, makes sense
happens.
with how we've seen that go.
Smolder being down a bit of CS is annoying, but also it's to be expected when you draft weaker early game for your lanes. Providing
really
so far doing a good job of covering some of these ganks that might have come out from the Viego.
Yeah, I will
As
say.
we see the ult being used, the Sky's Descent by this Aurelian Soul. Or is it only called Sky's Descent when it's upgraded? Do you know?
I think it's still called Sky's Descend. I think it's just an upgraded
Falling
version.
Star
of
and
it.
Sky's Descent, it is
Oh,
called.
there we go. Oh, shows how much we know.
Yep. And I've been playing this game for like 8 years, almost.
I finally quit this game.
Good for you.
I have done what many people wish they could do.
Yeah. Now instead of playing characters, you just voice them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. I will say, if I could like voice someone in League, that would be pretty damn dope. But that is a very rare chance of that actually happening.
I mean, I don't expect any writers to be watching this stream at this point in time, but you never know. They've shown up in worse places, from what I've heard.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
As we see a quick skirmish, how many times is this Ignite going to be up for this Nautilus, man?
No, I will say there was actually a pretty good engage from the Maokai, forcing the ultimate away from the Kai'Sa. It does mean that the Kai'Sa potentially still has the flash, but that is at least one less aggressive option you have to look out for.
Yeah.
For now, anyway.
Yeah. Let's do a quick check-in with this Aurelian Soul being at 49 stacks. The other side, Smolder being at 51.
Yeah, if the Smolder plays it well, that's
The command
unfortunate
Shockwave
ultimate.
being used and whiffing, unfortunately.
But there is
As
potential
we
that
see the
Ah!
falling star being used. Okay, I didn't pay attention whether or not the Orianna has Scorch. How much are you willing to bet that that was a Scorch skill?
I don't. It wasn't a Scorch kill. I think that was the minions actually.
Was it the minions?
Yes,
She does have Scorch, which helps, but
it does help. Yeah, but
if those are
you
minions,
could
that
see
is.
the you could see the projectiles of the minions move to the Aurelian. Either way, messy fight. That's what we want to see.
The Oriana being only 150 gold ahead, so instead of a Lost Chapter and a Dark Seal and unupgraded boots, we see the upgraded Sorcerer's Shoes come out from OBDP.
Which is fair enough. It gives you more movement. You can go around the map easier, especially when this Aurelian literally has an ability that just makes him go zoom.
Yeah, I think the upgraded boots early on helping against the Aurelian stacking with his Q. Overall, this game not happening too much. Only 5 gold difference between these junglers.
Yeah, this is a significantly more stable game than last time. I will say that with that, even though MadMen are down about 500, 600 gold at this point in time, it really does not matter because once this Smolder gets his stacks, once the Oriana gets 2-3 items,
yeah,
as long as MadMen can play to their advantages, then they can still win these fights.
We did see a quick skirmish in the mid lane, which we only saw the tail end of it. Kuman's shockwave was used as Dredgeline gets used. Mom is being called. No kill coming out.
Yeah, I think M's just pulled the trigger a little bit too early because you could see that the fight was coming up. If Ems had waited just a few more seconds before flashing in, getting the pushback onto that Nautilus, then you could have seen a good chance at a kill there. But still, it's good pressure. Smolder gets more stacks at 75 at this point in time. Just 50 away until the Smolder gets those volleys, and then it'd be significantly easier for that Smolder to start getting stacks. Yeah. There also comes a point in the game where Smolder can just WQ the wave and can pretty much get all 6 stacks from the minions very quickly, very easily, very efficiently. Also, if they're smart, they will allow the Smolder to get the Raptors and also the Krugs. Because you're looking at 7 stacks from the Raptors and you're looking at, what, 1, 2, about 6, 7 or 8, I don't remember how many Krugs there are, but you're looking at those amount of stacks from the Krugs as well. So from just 2...
Yeah.
From 2 jungle camps, you're looking at a good 13 stacks.
That's about 2 waves, yeah. On the other hand, a lot of the XP and gold being in the small Krug, so I do understand the Vine not willing to give it over. It's a decision you need to make as a team. Are we just playing for the smaller stacks, or are we playing for a different fight? Falling Star being used, vehicle resets coming through, as we see just a dominant team fight.
What was the Smolder in that?
He was caught in the middle of it, basically.
Oh yeah, I see. I didn't even see that. Yeah, that's just a very good 4v4 fight coming out from the side of Frostbite. They got everything they needed to do. The Aurelian Soul got 2 people inside of the ultimate. And yeah, that is a good injection of gold, and even if it's just over 2,000 gold, like I said, just as long as Mad can take a breather and be like, right, okay, we need to not play that aggressively. We have to sort of just allow things to go the way of Frostbite for now, so that we can come charging forward in the later game. Then they should be more than fine. But we are starting to see the damage that the Ambassador is doing, even with just the 1 item as well.
I mean, the Ornn trades back nicely. It's Ornn, to be expected.
Yeah, it's on.
I think
The
once Ornn
first
completes his
Casante
item,
champion.
this lane will just be even once more.
Do you still remember the Ornn copy pasta?
Which one?
It was essentially how Ornn is a mage assassin fighter bruiser.
Oh, that is a very long time ago. Don't remind me how
Yes.
old I am.
Yes.
Yes, Ornn was one of those champions at some point. His is scaling, or his percentage damage on the passive box being a bit on the high side, if I remember correctly.
It was very silly. But hey, now that Casante is out, everyone has completely forgotten about that because for some reason Riot cannot balance that champion.
Yeah, I mean, currently I don't think he's too strong of a too strong of a state. Gets counted by a few of the other champions. Alright, Falling Star has upgraded into Sky's Descent for the next team fight for the Aurelian Soul. Engage from MC, just poking, I would say.
I will say that both of the both of the mid lane champions are playing a bit of a risky game when they were both around half HP, because even with both of the mid laners only having one item, that's still more than enough to do a good 1,500 or so damage.
Yeah. I mean, it's been name of the game for these mid laners. They are just always of one shot range of each other at the same time.
Yeah. And we do see that the Rift Herald actually went to the way of Frostbite as well, so that's the feats of, that is all the feats going in their way.
They got
They
the
get
feats
those
of
special
monsters
builds.
and the feats of warfares.
The stinky feats, I like to call them.
Anyway, talk about overtuned champions. Did you see the new one, Yunara?
Oh, yeah, I did see her. And
Curiously enough, a one-line passive in 2025. I did not
insane, isn't it?
I did not think I would see that. And then the ultimate just being an upgrade for your abilities.
What I love is how top lane has Casante, where it's like, oh, this one ability does 20 different things. And then they have Mel in the mid lane that's like, oh yeah, she could just reflect everything. And then they bring out a new ADC and it's like, oh yeah, no, she's actually, like, fine. There's nothing crazy about her.
I do wonder where she'll slot in. Not completely sure on the her attack range yet. We'll see where she slots in. I suspect she'll, as we see Sky's Descent come out, Command Shockwave not available yet. No, just not used. As we can see, both mid laners almost being able to one-shot each other.
Yeah, but it is slowly going the way of the Aurelian Soul. The Aurelian getting that double kill in that 4v4 fight that the side of Frostbite 1 doesn't help. And also, I do think at this point in time that the challenge between the two dragons is up and running at this point in time.
I do believe so. They have both gotten level 9 and 70 stacks. Speaking of stacks, we have 131 on the Smolder, him having his upgraded splash damage. As we see a flash engage from the Vi, not taking down the Kai'Sa yet. Now the Viego trying to enter the fight is on the Smolder and gets the reset from the Maokai. Vi going back in. Command Shockwave not being enough. Almost.
It's just
down.
not enough damage at this point in time.
As I do believe that is the stack, the quest complete for Aurelian. As the Aurelian just comes in to clean up the fight.
Yeah, I mean, this Aurelian has 211 stacks now at this point in time.
As we see a really nice flash from the Ornn, but messing up the ult. High tense situations, flashed just outside of where you would expect it. As he just gets taken down in a weird turn of events. let's quickly check how much stacks this Aurelian has. 213 currently. Getting accelerated by completing the quest. I believe he was at like 170, 180 before this.
180.
Yeah, so getting
don't
about
know for a fact.
35 stacks from completing the quest and killing the
Which,
smaller.
yeah, that's a pretty damn good amount. And I mean, I will say it's about 20 minutes, and you're looking at a 5,200 gold lead for the side of Frostbite.
Yeah,
And
we can take a quick look at the gold graph. Just this fight, just kind of just throwing Frostbite ahead a little bit.
yeah, not to mention the solo kill up on the top lane as well. Like if like these other madmen just have to learn to play a little bit more patiently.
Sky's Descent being used. OBDP falling to the gank from the Viego.
Which I also believe means that the side of Frostbite will be able to get some vision down, or they'll just leave that bot side be.
Very nice usage of the Orn E. Cease and desist. Let's see if Alec falls down. A little bit of BMing there.
They just don't have the damage at this point in time.
Yeah. Which was one of the questions I did have at the start before we got into the game, because if the Smolder and the Oriana aren't both together dealing damage, they are lacking a little bit of DPS.
Yeah. Just not to mention that this fight is pretty damn behind at this point in time. Like a whole item behind her jungle opponent. So yeah, it was a good attempt. Just missing some valuable items.
But this game definitely feels less sealed than last game. MadMen are, yes, they're behind a bit more across the board, but overall they're a lot less behind, I would say.
You are seeing that the side of
standing
MadMen.
gold also still up for grabs for the side of MadMen.
Yeah, you are also seeing that the side of MadMen are actually trying to get some plays down with what they're doing, which is a good sign to see from how they were last game. But I think it's just too early to try anything at this point in time. Like, you need to wait for 3 items on your Oriana, you need to wait for your Smolder to get those stacks.
As we do see the Ornn getting a bit more tanky slowly. I don't think he will die here. No, but we'll have.
But
to
he
recall.
does have the recall. He does have the teleport, which is fine. But with the dragon coming up in a minute 40, does he want to use it to get back?
Engage onto Nautilus. Ignite used. Vibing there. Dredgeline used. Viego getting a reset before the Nautilus can fall. Engage onto the Smolder, and the Smolder will not fall yet. The Smolder will fall, but that is a lot invested from the Kai'Sa.
It is a lot to invest.
But and Frostbite get a tower, got a tower top obviously from the Ornn having the base. So 2 towers, 2 kills. I think they'll be pretty happy with that. Once again,
Yeah, most definitely.
we do see that MadMen, while playing a bit aggressive, is chilling out a little bit more, respecting a bit more of the power from Frostbite at this point in the game.
Yeah, but once again, they are trying to make a play, which is good to see, but once again, they're doing it before anyone has their power spikes.
Yeah, at this point I want to see MadMen rushing to complete their second items. And I think they have a window as we see this guy's falling stars get used. The interrupt on the flyway and a nice gold injection for the Defy. I would have liked to see that on Iback on the Smolder, as he is scaling.
Yeah, but I do understand why they didn't want to sort of give the Aurelian the chance to escape as well.
Yeah,
So I'm not mad at it.
I'm a bit bummed that the Oriana did fall. But a 1-for-1 overall, getting the Aurelian Soul out of this team fight, I don't think you're unhappy. As the Hextech Drake is being done, smite up for both sides, claimed by the side of MadMen. Smolder will fall, as we will see the rest of MadMen being able to escape.
Yeah, you are starting to see how much damage this Kai'Sa is able to do, especially when she is able to get a solo target with her upgraded Q. And you know, honestly, at this point in time, you have to sort of say that this is really down to like the sort of weird early aggression that the side of MadMen have shown. That's really put them in this position.
As we do see the damage coming out from the carriers of Frostbite. I say carries, but besides the Nautilus, everybody on their side is playing a carry.
Yeah, this is a 7,000 gold lead at this point as I'm at 25 minutes, and honestly, it feels like it's just going to get more and more. Like this Smolder is still a good 27? 20...
Let's do a quick stack check. It's 199 on the Smolder, so almost a few
26.
waves of the execute.
Yeah, but
Aurelian at 277.
Yeah, even if the Smolder does get his execute though, with how far behind he now is, you know, with everyone else on his team, it's really only going to be a very small advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Kai'Sa did opt for a bit more expensive items, so 2.5 items completed. I think on the next reset she'll have her Nash's Tooth completed. As we just see this Vi getting caught in jungle. I mean, he's just trying to not fall further behind by getting his camps, and Frostbite is capitalizing on that.
And it's a very good bait as well, you know. The Vi not expecting everyone to be in her topside jungle, and because of that, she dies. That means that that Frostbite does get the Baron, and you're probably going to see that it's going to cause even more gold coming in from the side of Frostbite, to the point where they don't even really care if this turret goes down. Of course, if they can save it, that's great. They probably will not be able to. But you can still see that this, you can still see that this Oriana is still able to dish some damage out.
Yeah.
That's an ultimate use from her, and
as we do see this tower falling, MadMen obviously having objective bounties, so even though they did not pick up the local gold, they still get a bit more gold from that. Still, a 6k gold lead is nothing to scoff at.
Absolutely nothing to scoff at, and you're seeing the amount of pressure that these side laners are putting on for Frostbite. Like I don't even think that the Zorn is actually able to do any damage to this Ambessa.
Yeah, I mean Ambessa also being the highest level in the game at level 17, just being farming all game. As I see the Mom being used to clear out the Baron minions in the mid lane.
I do think that was a flash on the Nautilus as well.
We can double check. That was a flash on the Nautilus, yeah. From the side of MadMen, all summoners are up. From the side of Frostbite, the Ambassador does not have flash yet, and the Nautilus flash was just used. This mid lane, tower going down, Sky's Ascent being used, and holy damn, is that massive. That covers the whole lane. Diego getting his resets, dropping tower aggro. Retaking tower aggro, will fall down, but that is almost an ace for the side of Frostbite.
Yeah, I think that's game, to be honest. I think they will just be able to push these minions in, along with the Baron buff as well. And while Smolder does have his execute at this point in time, again, like you're seeing the amount of damage coming through from from both of these carries on the side of Frostbite, and yeah, there is not really much that this Smolder can do.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
Unfortunate 2 games. As that is the win for Frostbite Titans. We'll see how the we'll see how the interviews end up happening, as we do have some lined up.
That is a pretty big sigh of relief if you are there on the side of Frostbite. It means that there is more of a safety net beneath you when it comes to being eligible for the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's very good. MadMen, there's clearly some things to work on, but you could see, I mean, even now, you could see the difference between game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, very. Until like in the mid game where they took some bad fights, I think it was a fairly controlled game from both sides.
Yeah, I mean,
as to be expected with the comps, but I do think that it's they had a much better showing in game 2.
Oh yeah, 100%. But again, like they just sort of need to understand when they can do stuff and when they can't, because with how things were,
yep.
They just tried a bit too much too early.
As we do have Ryusei, the jungler, the Viego, the jungler from the side of Frostbite Titans, in for an interview. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello.
Is it Ryusei?
Yeah, Ryusei. Yeah.
Ryusei. Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
How did it feel to basically have a team comp built around you getting resets?
It was really fucking nice. It was really nice. Like I was just telling my team that we take one reset, and they know this as well, right? We just get one reset and we kind of win the team fight. So it was really good, and yeah, Vi was just perma, trying to go on me. She ulted me 2 or 3 times, I guess. Yeah, that was really something.
It must have been. It must have felt very good in that first game when you see within the first 6 minutes your Cho'Gath getting 3 kills. I mean, if I was on your team, I'd be like, right, okay, I'm just gonna go do other stuff because I'm clearly not needed.
Yes. That's why I had like high CS, and I get my items really fast. So I was hoping for this, like if my team can play, safe and like kind of in sync, so I can farm and get kind of scaled up, and then I can join the team fights.
As I am quickly taking a look at your group, I think this will put you in a fairly solid 3rd place.
Yes.
At least. So how many matches do you still have to play until the playoff starts?
2 more.
Yeah, 2 more. Yeah.
So,
yeah, 2 more.
I'm not sure if you are locked in.
Oh, I am. I'm literally am. By the way, my champ pool was like.
In. Congrats on that then.
Yeah. My champ pool was like really small. I just played Wukong. That's all, and sometimes Lilia. But I started to pick Viego as well. So that's.
Oh no, we were more talking about your team being locked in for playoffs.
Oh yeah.
You being locked in for the games, of course, as well.
Yeah.
There is still potentially an opportunity where it isn't the case.
I don't believe so. I believe you are locked in for playoffs.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, I'm wrong. Yeah, because if you lose both of these games and then MadMen win theirs.
Oh, don't jinx us. We're not gonna lose this.
We are from MadMen, so we kind of have to know. But
no, I mean,
okay,
with what I'm thinking, if there's a case of like if 2 teams are tied, it's a case of like the opposing scores, isn't it? And since you have now beaten MadMen, it is literally a case of if you lose 2, they win and MadMen win too, I think you're still going through regardless. So yeah, I think you are.
Okay. So
Lo-
we are kind of in a fine spot right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you
Okay.
are locked in. 100%.
Anyway,
Yeah.
congrats on the win.
Thank you.
We don't talk about Cho'Gath. I don't think your top laner will get it again. This split.
It's fine. It's fine. Even if you don't give him Cho'Gath, he's just really good at his lane. And
All right.
So, yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Do you have someone you want to shout out before we?
Oh,
leave
shout out
you?
to my whole fucking team. Like Connor, like Relic Knight, he played it really well with Nautilus R's, and Fiasco on Kaisa as well. It was like really solid. Of course, Aurelion Sol, he was our carry. He was like kind of counter to our Smolder, their Smolder. So yeah. Also me as well because I played really well. I also did I also did style stun on Y. So yeah, that was really good.
Alright.
And of course, our top laner Ambessa. He always like he's kind of always winning his lane. So yeah,
Yeah,
he's the goat. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, shout out to my whole team, and
Yeah.
they were really good.
I thank you for the time. Well,
Okay, thank you.
good luck on your
Thank you
next
for having
games.
me. Yeah.
We have OBDP lined up.
Okay, thank you for having me, guys.
Yes.
Bye bye.
That's right. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Welcome,
Hello.
OBDP, or how should I call you?
I go by Owen, but
Owen.
OBDP is fine.
Hello, Owen.
Hello.
Unfortunately,
How are you
that
guys?
you guys lost, but I think definitely for mostly game 2 you guys had a fairly solid showing. Stable mid lane.
I mean, yeah, it was alright. It kind of just went downhill. Like, we had really good early games, but our late games aren't the best, but it's something we're working on, definitely.
Yeah, at least that's a clear path to improving. That's
Yeah, absolutely.
That's nice to have. The Cho'Gath being kind of a wild factor, a wild card. I don't think you guys saw that coming.
Yeah, no. I think we had a bit of communication error. Like, we kind of wanted to do different things. Just to like chill and farm, but top lane didn't really understand. But it happens, you know. Something we can work on
Yeah, it happens.
as a team. But no, we thought we could deal with it as a team. Obviously, wait, let me pull up the match history real quick. I thought I was quite ahead on Victor early, so
Yeah,
obviously
I mean,
Jinx scales as well. So
I just did want to ask, what was your game plan with the draft for game 1? We theorized it might have been like a big comp with a follow-up damage, but how did you guys
Yeah,
think about it?
around that, yeah, I guess we would have wanted to play for like Drakes and stuff, and kind of just like I needed my third item so I could scale a bit more. But they ended up just taking a lot of space on the map, a lot of objectives, and yeah, we kind of just flopped it from there. But yeah, there's not
It
much to
happens,
say about
it
the first
happens,
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happens. Yeah.
I still think there is some like things you can look at in both games, obviously,
Oh yeah.
because losses are still a learning experience,
Yeah.
and you also were not at your strongest because one of your team members was not available, I believe, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So either way, like I said, still things to learn.
Yeah.
But the only
Yeah.
real issue I had with the second game was the fact that you are a scaling team, and you were taking fights much earlier than you honestly should.
Yeah, I think I fed ASOL a little too much. I underestimated like the jungle position, and we didn't really have much vision,
Yeah.
so he kind of just ran over us, or me.
It was a very close mid matchup, like the whole game, until like late game, of course. Killing each other
Yeah.
over and over. I mean, you have the downside that Aurelion stacks from that, of course.
Yeah, he
Good.
just scales better than me, I think.
There is at least one good thing, I will say, is that you are not out of the race for playoffs at this point in time. You can still make it. You do have to win both of your next games.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. We're scaling as a team. You know, we've had a lot of changes over the past couple of weeks. You know, I've come off support now and I'm playing mid,
Yeah.
which is quite big. But I think with like practice, I think we can be top definitely. We just need to work on communication and expanding our tramp pools a little bit so we can work together a bit more.
Yeah.
But I think don't count us out yet.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
As the standings are updated currently, the round 6 you guys are against Hive Minds. Round 7 you are against Vortex Reborn Eclipse. Both around you in the standings. So if you manage to win both of those games and Vortex Reborn Eclipse loses, I believe you are still in the race.
I think we'll win.
I'm pretty sure like Vortex can win against Baron, and just so long as you guys win round 6 and then win again against Vortex, I think it's guaranteed that you guys still go through. I could be wrong, obviously. My math isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Vortex loses the next game and you guys win, it'll be a very hype matchup between you two guys.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to
that would
covering
be the
that.
decider.
No, like I say, we need to just work on fundamentals, I think, and then we're a banging team.
Yeah.
I think we're quite strong, but that's just me. I don't know what you guys think about our team, but
I mean,
like,
this is the literal first time I have seen you guys play.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, and as I said, when you guys lost the second game, there is a very clear difference between game 1 and game 2. Like, even in game 2, there were still chances where you could have potentially come back into the game. Whereas,
Yeah.
in game 1, it was quite the stomp.
I have
Yes.
good and bad news for you. The bad news is the game against Vortex Reborn Eclipse is still 2 weeks almost away. The 30th of June. The good news is you will be covered by us because
Lovely.
Div 3 is not playing. No pressure, but make sure we get a
Of course.
banging matchup.
Oh, you will. You will. We will scale as a team. I think we're obviously quite just new to like knowing each other. This is my first time being in Valanth League as well.
I heard you
So,
guys
yeah.
got a nice coach as well, so
Yes, Water, yeah. He's a UKL, ex-UKL player.
so I think I'll be able to teach you guys a lot and get better a lot quickly. All right.
Yes.
Anybody? As Werewolf is saying, we are going to playoffs. All right. I have trust in you guys. Do you want to shout out anyone? Anything? Yourself even?
Yeah, I got a few. I'd like to shout out my team. Yeah, we're amazing. I think we can do good things. We just gotta give it time. Shout out to UN. Pick up my uni. And shout out to Matt. Hope he's having a good recovery from his surgery.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Yeah, I've got
Thank
no
you
more
very
questions.
much.
No, thank you guys. You guys do an amazing job.
Right. I think we'll wrap up soon as well. Thank you for the interview. Alright, good
Thank you
luck
very
on
much.
the next game.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, Joseph, any closing thoughts before we end the stream?
Not much, to be honest. It was quite the one-sided series, which is, it's always a bit of a struggle to cast, but, we could only do our best. If people aren't happy with it, no, well, wow.
Go do it
And,
yourself. Then.
Exactly, and believe in Joe Hendry.
We believe in Joe Hendry, and I am looking if we can actually. I don't know if it's copyrighted, probably, but the guy is.
It is.
I will not play it on stream then.
Yeah, don't.
Alright. We will see you soon-ish. I believe there are games on Monday. I'll double check just now. There is a game of Division 3 on Monday. And of course the Division 4 game. And then on next Thursday there'll be Division 1 again. MadMen Phantoms against Gucci Donnies. We'll be looking out for who will cast that. So, see you guys next time. Bye!
We'll see you